Welcome, guys. Thank you for being here. It's an absolute pleasure to be standing and speaking to you guys really about the most important subject of the day. You are the most important mathematical equation in your future. And so I am big on personal development. You can't have professional development without personal development. I'm here today to educate, inspire, impact, and empower you to grow, to change. And so today's subject matter is charismatic leadership, CLT, how to become a charismatic leadership influencer and have these tactics that are going to help you improve your sales. All right, so we're going to get into what charisma is through enhancing, expanding, and evolving your impact, your influence, and ultimately your charismatic leadership. We'll call it a BHAG, big, hairy, audacious goal for today, but we're going to improve some things in you. But more importantly, you're going to have to take these things that you learn and you're going to have to apply them. The Riz. Why is it important? Well, here's the working definition. Appeal, opportunity, and growth. Opportunity is probably the biggest one. And so I won't spend too much time on who I am and how I got here because it's truly all about you. But let's just put it this way. I didn't always look and speak like this. I had a very negative mindset. That would be called a fixed mindset. Any fixed mindsets in the room? Okay, good. Where's all my growth mindsets at? Yeah. Fantastic. Great book, great resource. Carol Dweck, I'm going to give you some resources and some books that I highly recommend you buy on Amazon before even leaving this room. But one of them is mindset. And every human being has two options, growth or fixed. In every single meeting, every single day. Some days I wake up and my fixed mindset is still there, even though I've done my best to rewire it. And I put myself into a better position to be in a growth mindset. Okay, what is the value of, right? For me, I'd say the biggest one is getting shit done and getting people to buy into your message. I got to have a certain amount of Riz or charisma to get you to listen to me for longer than 60 or 90 seconds. It's going to take even more to take some of the things that I'm going to teach you and take them home and say, hey, I want a little bit of that. Not just me, but a little bit of those who already are qualified as highly charismatic. The CLTs are simple. Commanding attention and respect without words, inspiring people merely with your presence, and ultimately, this is the key, connecting with your prospects, referrals, leads, clients, followers, family, and friends. Any parents with teenagers, they don't have much charisma. And they can make you have a fixed mindset just on your simple interaction first thing in the morning. And so I've learned to do my best to bring my CLT to my fatherhood journey. All right, let's get after it. Let me get your definition before we start this thing of what charisma is. Shout it out.
Persuade others. Attraction.
Energy.
Beautiful.
Influence.
Influence, great.
Resilience.
Resiliency, yep. That's a key character trait. What else? Engagement. Getting people to listen to you. Some highly charismatic people. I'm not a big TV guy, but kind of fell in love with the show accidentally. And there's a lot of charisma in that. They're selling some pretty high-end properties. Obviously, Connor, whether you like him or not, shows a high level of charisma, especially with his presence. He talks smack his way into becoming a billionaire, which he will be in our lifetime. And then, of course, a little old school, Marilyn Monroe. There is a certain look that can come with charisma or add to your score, but it's not mandatory. What about you? And I ask this question a lot again in my coaching and in my speaking. Was it born, bred, or built? For me, what you see was not born or bred. It has been built. And as Joe mentioned, as a personal trainer, for a long time in my life, about 18, 19 years, we opened one of the first CrossFit gyms here in Scottsdale back in 2008. Saw a lot of success, but was very one-dimensional. Was very comfortable, as I like to say. I could make it rain coconut water. The challenge and problem with that for me was that I knew there was something more. And so that's the game today, is to level up your charisma, aka level up these tactics, introduce some of these new tactics to your game, and see what happens. Harvard Business School has created a 12-dimensional framework, and there's a book on influencing people that talks about these 12 character traits. And so we're going to go through them. We're going to identify them. You're going to choose a couple of these that you may use right now. Because although you may not have been honored with the charismatic gift, every single person in this room has a certain level of charisma, or may lack a certain level of it, but we're going to improve it. We're going to enhance it, and we're going to expand upon it. And so 9 of these are verbal, 3 of these are nonverbal. Metaphors, similes, analogies, stories, anecdotes, contrasts, rhetorical questions, my favorite 3-part lists, expressions of moral conviction, setting high goals and conveying that they can be achieved, and then of course gestures, animated voice, and facial expressions. So whether you're taking notes or you're using your phone, just take a look at this and see what are the 3 to 5 character traits you might already be using every single day. Whether that's at home with your teenagers, with your husband, with your wife. If you're single and you're a man and you're dating, some of these charismatic leadership qualities that you might be using to date women, you can use this in any situation. Part of expansion and growth, part of getting uncomfortable is having a self-realization of who you are and where you are. And that's probably one of the most important things that I can talk about today as we intertwine and interweave this subject matter of charisma is about you. Your goal in life, regardless of the age, regardless of how long you've been in the industry, regardless of what anything looks like, is to grow. It is to improve. It is to enhance your experience in life. And this little word called charisma will help you do that. This is a quote of mine because I used to do a lot of video content online when I was progressing from the fitness industry into coaching and speaking for performance. And I realized that the beginning of most of my videos was that version right there. It's always a choice. And we don't just fake it until we make it. We fake it till we become it. And so it's really hard to be charismatic to others if you have a hard time understanding and identifying your own quality of life, your own experience in life and what you're going through. I've faced a lot of hardship, a lot of trauma, as I'm sure a lot of you have in this room. And that's one of the biggest reasons why I believe this is valuable. Because if we've had a hard life, all my single moms, it's hard, and I know that. If we've gone through challenges, if we've gone through these ups and downs of what it's like to be in this industry for 25, 30 years, we've seen it all, you probably have a slightly more optimistic scope. I can tell you right now that optimism is one of these traits that's not on there. Do I have any guys in the industry that are just here for the season? All right. What about a couple years testing it out, but you might go back to work at this other company or do something else? Okay, great. Where's all the lifers at? All right. Round of applause. Personal trainers and real estate agents were compared a lot as people who got in it when it was good and then got out of it when it got hard. So your face is your fault. Pull out your phone again. I want you to take a picture of your regular face, and then I want you to take a picture of your smiling face. That's a little reminder that no matter how dark it is, Joe talked about Navy SEALs. I've done some training with the SEALs. I'm a civilian. But what I've learned from them is they use the right note of humor at the absolute worst time. Just when things couldn't get even worse, they crack a joke and they find a way to smile. To me, and you'll see mine here in a moment, this is my #1 tactic, and it should be yours as well. Great. Here are my 7 charismatic leadership qualities. Touch. Now, I'm a fitness guy, so there's a lot of high fives. Do I have any Hawaiians in the room? No? Okay. I grew up in Hawaii, so a lot of kisses to Auntie. But there's some touch there, right? Professional touch. Big smile. Eye contact. This is a big one. I traditionally will not do business with somebody who cannot keep their eyes focused on me at any one time. It's automatically a default in character. Unapologetically authentic. You may not like everything I say today, but I don't really care. And I don't care with an attitude or an ego. I don't care because I can't allow that to shift my message or my purpose for today's message. Retaining valuable information. This one is critical. Second resource for reading. Hug Your Customers. Jack Mitchell. Anybody read that book? Phenomenal resource. Knowing your customers, knowing your clients, knowing the people that you work with, knowing their name, their wife's name, knowing their kid's name, even knowing pets' names. Birthdays, because you get a pop-up on your Facebook, is not going deep. Going deep is finding out what years that man served in the Army, where he served from, and ultimately what his mission and vision in life is. And if I can retain that information, whether I write it down or put it in my notes, and bring it back the next time I meet with him, all of a sudden now, my charisma score is going to be higher, but more importantly, he's going to know, like, and trust what's coming from me, and he's going to put me in position. Whatever that position may be, connecting me with somebody else. These are the most important and valuable pieces of my game. What about yours? That's the question. You can take 3 from the cheat sheet. Pick your 3 that you do right now. And then I want to know from you, what is your superpower? What is your special and unique charismatic leadership tactic that you deploy right now every single day? We got some big smiles. We got some well-dressed. Those are great. But at the core of who you are, what do you use? What do you deploy? What works time and time again? That's your homework. You got 60 seconds to start coming up with that, because we will be calling on you very shortly. Take 3 from the list. And then let's add those special qualities. You have a daily discipline worksheet in front of you. That's an extra resource we'll talk about here at the end. But time is the most valuable asset that we have. And when you show the people you work with, when you show your family, when you show your friends, when you show prospects how accurate you can be with their time, that picks your score up. When I have a coaching call or a consulting call or any type of call and it's scheduled and I've booked it in my calendar, I am sitting there 60, 90 seconds beforehand waiting till the clock turns. And every single person that's ever seen me do that goes, man, that's amazing. Again, know, like, and trust. What's your superpower? What's your secret sauce? What's your specialty? What works that you need to enhance and upgrade so that it works better? Where does humor live in your game? Does it exist? Okay? In comedy, there's low-hanging fruit humor. Usually doesn't fit well in the professional space. But then there's the kind of humor, aka puns, or the right timing, to kind of laugh at yourself. We have to be able to laugh at ourselves. Great. This is one of my favorite pieces of the entire puzzle, because most of you will say, well, you know, I don't really interact with people. I kind of sit in the back. I do my own thing. It's worked this way for a very long time. I get it. Nobody likes change. But when you can look at your life, look at your game, look at your income, and say, I've got room to grow. I can improve a couple things. I don't care what market it is. You will be successful. Charismatic leaders focus on creating a vision for their team, which will motivate them to do better work. Let's go back here just for a second. Okay? Setting high goals and conveying they can be achieved. I'm in the business of making people do really, really hard things they never thought were possible. So how could that be charismatic? Most of you are looking at the suit or the hair. There's a visual representation of that. That means nothing. What matters is what you're able to do with these skills, or where you need to improve and enhance them. Let's go back. We have just enough time for every single person to share. I'm going to take 10 people. Okay? I'm going to take my winners of the Charisma Award because now they have to prove it. I'm going to take the losers, or those who have not quite won yet, who might have 50s or 60s. It's no humiliation whatsoever. It's just a way for us to be accurate and honest. And then a couple other people who would like to share. My score is an 84. My kids score 67, 69. I was surprised, but they are teenagers, and so they don't like talking to anybody. My score will stay down as I improve the things I know I want to do. But the reality is, I don't ever want to talk to anybody on an airplane. Ever. I don't want to talk to my wife on the airplane. I'm very intentional with my time and my energy. I'm going to something important or I'm coming back from something important, and I just don't want to talk to a stranger in that way. I'll make up for it on the roof after this is over and talk to you guys all day long. But because of that, I'm not looking for perfection. We don't want perfection. There's no such thing as 100. You don't need 100. But if you have a 67, maybe a 71. If you have a 79, maybe an 84. If you have an 89, let's get into those 90s. You do not need to go back to school. You can start to deploy these tactics right away. Now, on your piece of paper, or excuse me, on your desk, you might have a very simple worksheet. It's called Daily Discipline. I'm not going to spend too much time here. I'm going to go about 60 seconds. This is your habits. These are your habit trackers. This is a great way to take care of yourself while you're a workaholic. And again, if you don't have self-care, it's really hard to sustain this type of grind, bell to bell. The video at the beginning was fantastic. I love to work hard, but I love to rest hard. And having that balance in between the two, I think, is extremely vital to just your own health and your family, and ultimately how you carry yourself. So you have to take care of yourself first before you can take care of your family, of your clients, of your customers. And so this worksheet is just something that I took from Jocko Willink, a Navy SEAL, and kind of added my own twist to it. What I care about more is that you do something different tomorrow. What I care about more is that you take one of these tactics and you put it in this daily discipline and you work towards it. If it's being on time, see if you can be on time to every appointment for one day. If it's remembering people's names, see if you can remember one person's name tonight when we go upstairs and use it. Use it so much the guy's like, all right, I got it, okay? Right? Don't think about doing everything all at once. Don't think about doing everything on here. Most of you are chronically dehydrated, and here's the fitness expert in me. You need to drink more water. Breath work, hydration, exercise. Doesn't mean go to the gym, it means move your body. The older we get, the more we have to focus on longevity. In my 20s and 30s, I was teaching people, biomechanics to be strong. In my 30s and 40s, it was about performance in the CrossFit world, in the triathlon world, in the endurance world. And as I move closer to my 50s and 60s, it's going to be about longevity. That's the same protocol you should be following. Regardless of your health, regardless of your weight or size, we have to continue to heal ourselves naturally in order to live a long, sustainable life. If we keep going there, you've got gratitude, which is the base of prayer. Period. If you don't have prayer practice, start with gratitude and see what happens. We move down to that. There's a checklist there. This is you organizing your day. There's a productivity planner that I use, that I buy for my clients. It's on Amazon. That's by the same guys who make the 5-minute journal. It's a phenomenal analog tool. And if you're not using something to not only keep you on track in time, except for your Gmail or your Google Calendar, you're missing the beat. You need to have both. You can't take notes in your computer. And although I did see you taking notes back there, analog notes are better. Your brain will remember the information more than when you're on your phone. Why? There's no entertainment in your journal. You're on your phone, you're trying to stay on focus, and all of a sudden you have notification after notification. Okay, the deal comes in, but do we really need the Twitter, the Instagram, and all the other things to constantly be bombarding your focus? Absolutely not. Reading, writing, journaling. If you want to get better at keynote speaking or presenting, don't just hire me. I want you to read out loud. 1% of the day. All of these tools, all of these daily disciplines, they're based on small amounts of focus. 1% of the day is 15 minutes of your day. If you commit to exercising for 15 minutes, if you commit to reading for 15 minutes, if you commit to reading people's names and saying them out loud, you will see improvement. Reading out loud is a game changer. Standing up and reading out loud as if you were presenting is an even more game changer. Most of us don't do it. Most of us aren't reading. And if we are reading, we're reading on our phone. Change that. Go back to analog. Start your day in analog. Spend some time in analog. Get grounded. Get rooted in the backyard. Get some sunshine. Practice some gratitude. And then go full force ahead into the productivity and performance of your business.